Chapter 3 Lead. Monday the 22nd of February 2016. I told Miry to get anything she wanted as a gift from me for Valentine's Day, so we went to Chiswick's auction house and bought several rolls of old but unused wallpaper that was apparently shipped to a place in Kew before the war, but never even unboxed. This paper is marvellous and will really give us an edge in terms of who among our many friends has the most artistic hallway. I love art, and this means that we can hang our pictures in better places than on the stairs. Curtis offered to help me put it up, but I shall instead get a professional to hang the paper for us. I can't imagine Curtis hanging anything straight. Paul called later and asked that I produce some work for another client by tomorrow morning, but I told him that I couldn't do it as I had to work for my own clients in the evening, so we compromised and he agreed to give me an overtime rate. I'll work on it tomorrow morning. Now, dear diary, I'm curled up with Doggy Willow and Pussy Willow, waiting for Miry to come back with some organic celery and hummus so we can all watch the next Sons of Anarchy together. Tuesday the 23rd of February 2016. There was more work than I had anticipated in the lot that Paul wanted me to finish. Some landing pages for online ads, and it was difficult to finish in the half an hour extra I'd given myself in the morning before I'm usually on the clock. However, I worked very hard and quickly, and I think I thoroughly deserved the 3 hours of overtime Paul and I had agreed on for the choice of lettering alone. He didn't say anything for a while, but then got back to me with a few questions on the positioning of various assets, such as photos and phone numbers. He just doesn't get it, and I explained to him that sometimes the difference between jarring and eye-catching is just no different at all. Paul asked Raphael, who said he could see what I was doing, and I excused myself before walking around the block. When I came back, they appeared to be completely without a clue as to the insult, and I did not speak to them for the rest of the day. Sometimes I wish I kept on purely freelance rather than working through Hot Blue, that artistically void company. Wednesday, the 24th of February 2016. Miry made arrangements for someone to come over and hang the new old wallpaper, but she was very cross because Magnus had asked her for a bacon sandwich. She just blames me for not enjoying the vegetarian food. I agree with the sentiment, but I'm too much of a food connoisseur to walk away from meat. Curtis gave me some delicious breakfast sausage, which did not help things. Thursday, 25th of February. I had to take Magnus to school as Miry had a headache and could not drive. I think I drove very well considering I don't often drive, but I got into an altercation with another parent who accused me of waiting in a no-wait zone. I made the point that it's only waiting if the handbrake is on, and as I had my foot on the foot brake the whole time and did not engage the handbrake, I could not have been waiting. She clearly didn't even realise that my having to turn the engine off to talk to her was much more than waiting, and was directly her fault. My friend Henry called to say he's got tickets to see The XX, but I was hoping to see Pulp next month, and I'm not sure I can do that and get to all the indie reggae stuff I want to go to. Curtis asked to come, but I told him he wouldn't have heard of any of that. Friday the 26th of February 2016. What a terrible day, dear diary. I was in a meeting at Hot Blue, and Miry would not stop calling, so I had to excuse myself and answer. The decorator who came round had said that almost all the wallpaper and paint in our house is lead-based, and that we would have to have it stripped as soon as possible, which will take at least 4 days. Miry and I decided that I should talk to Paul and try to get some time off so we can go to the farmer's cottage in the Dordogne that we went to last year. On going back into the meeting, Paul said he was going to give the landing page design to Raphael, as he wanted me to concentrate on my core role. That ruthless urchin turned them against me in the few minutes I was gone, and Paul had tried to cover it up with that meaningless corporate speak. Privately, Paul reassured me it was simply because he thought Raphael needs to be doing more work, which I suppose means that Paul and co don't think he's pulling his weight. I bet he'll be gone in only a few months. I took this opportunity to ask for some much needed time off, explaining we had an emergency, and Paul agreed we could go as long as I worked on Saturday. These corporate types, always expecting something for nothing.
The Diary of a Hipster is inspired by George and Whedon Grossmith's serial and later book, The Diary of a Nobody. It was read by Damien Benedict and produced by George Rockall-Schmidt.